Okay, I'm ready. Why are you wearing that? You said we're gonna have a quest. Give me that. Give me the knife. I said we're gonna have a guest. 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 A guest, like on the thing. A guest.
Fine, I'll go change.
Why do you even have this?
Well, hi, we're thrilled to have with us a guest. This is my father-in-law, Connor, your grandfather. You've met him, you know him.
A couple times.
This is Steve Harms. We're glad to have you here. Hi.
Well, hello. How nice to be welcomed. We are excited to join you in this wonderful, memorable process of which you invented.
Yes, well, we're excited. You're excited. So today we're just going to be talking a little bit about Mosiah, I think it was 10? Yeah, Mosiah 10, 11 through 17. It talks a lot about the Lamanites and how their ancestors kind of changed the history of their family and how that affected the future generations and how the hardness of their hearts went on to make it harder to teach and for them to be able to accept the gospel. And so we're just going to be talking a little bit today about generational things and just how
kind of the impact that one generation has on the next. I think it was described as a ripple effect in some of the materials we were reading this week.
I like the way you have described that, because that's an awesome concept to be able to get, especially when you're 18.
So we brought in one of the stones of this family and you know, to talk to one of the ripples.
Yes. Hi, Rip. Rip right along. We're honored to have you in the lake with us, or the pond.
So
is that a gene pool?
Yes, there it is. That's the gene pool.
So just to kind of start off, we were wondering what some of the things, the lessons, or things that generations before you did that you remember or you think has affected you in any sort of way.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be able to respond to that, because there's been a significant, powerful, life-forming influence on me. So it's I think why the Lord says unto the third and fourth generation, whatever you do is passed on, and it takes that long for it to kind of move along and have to be renewed or something. I don't know what, but third and fourth generation, that's pretty cool. So yeah, hey, I've always been impressed with the idea that my mother's grandfather and my own grandfather were both involved in the ministry. Grandpa Richardson was a lead deacon in the church that he was in before he found the gospel, and my grandfather Harms was a minister, he was actually studying to really be fully into the ministry until he found the gospel, and so that's been passed on to me. And when I was a little kid, we would wait outside for my dad to come home. And it was passed on and repeated over and over. Well, where's Dad? He's out doing missionary work. He was the stake missionary, the stake mission president, or he was a stake missionary for 20 years. And so I grew up with this, well, we're going to go out and wait for Dad. He's going to come home from, and the word was Mishi, and I guess I was the youngest, so that's probably what I would say. Daddy's out doing Mishi, and we're waiting for him to come home. And sometimes we'd sit at the window and wait for him to come home. So that was passed on to me. And now it's passed on to your mother and to you. And your dad has been influenced by what he grew up with. So that's the impact of what you assimilate as a kid.
So both of your grandfathers joined the church. Both your grandfathers were converts to the church.
my grandfather was a convert to the church, and my mother's grandfather was in other words, my great grandfather was a convert.
Because Connor has, from on my side, he has both. So he has grandparents that were in the church, and then both of my parents are converts, and so you have a couple of other stones and ripples in there. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, Connor, you don't stand a chance, because I know your grandfather, and I know that he was, quote, in the ministry 100% his whole life, and you have a huge heritage that is guiding you towards the right, unlike the Lamanites, whose grandparents were guiding them to the left.
Yeah. Yeah. Just another question was, what do you hope to be able to pass on and kind of add to the ripple pool, or what lessons do you hope for me and everyone else that you teach or come in contact with? You hope they.
Okay, it's interesting that you would ask me that question now, because with being in lockdown all during this time, both your grandmother and I have been spending our time going through our memorabilia from our life and our youth and our the things we've had throughout our life. And for the last couple of days, I've been spending all of my time trying to recreate the events of my mission. And going through, my parents kept all of all the letters that I sent to them, and I brought home all the one I sent from me. And I've been going through all those letters and rereading the events that took place on my mission. And it's been a real there's been so much pathos that's come into my heart and soul and mind as I have reviewed the people that I taught and the people that I met and have had an influence on me, and I've seen over the years what's happened to those people. And I would love to pass that same joy onto you and to all of your siblings and to my other grandchildren. There is great joy and satisfaction in looking back on one's life and seeing the positive influence you've had on people, and to be really satisfied by what you've done in the past. There's just knowing that you have made other people happy makes you happy. And to recognize that is a huge thing to be able to share and to pass on to others and to you.
I think it's so important to record those things. That's to write them down, whether it be in letters to your family, write letters, or whether that be in a journal.
If I was to tell this future missionary that's sitting there beside you, Dad, one thing, it was I wish that I had written down when it happened, the feelings that I experienced, or instead of trying to work it out from letters and so forth, I wish that I had really said, here's what it was like at the time, rather than trying to recreate it through letters, which is done very well, but not nearly as good as if I had written it down at the time. So take that as my advice. If you write it down, you have a record to share.
Yes.
That's real.
And I think
you can pass on to your grandkids. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's a great takeaway. I think that's a perfect message.
We have what is a treasured record passed down to us through the Book of Mormon that we're so blessed to be able to study now and to glean lessons from. And I think as we write down our experience, our future generations will be able to learn what we thought and how we felt about what was happening, and absolutely.
That exactly.
To them.
That will make that journal that you keep your gold plates to pass on to your children, because the Lamanites didn't have them.
Yeah.
And they were upset about that. And so, as it says, they had hatred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of just makes me think about the book that you wrote, was it The Harms Treasury? Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Harms Heritage.
just how you were able to put together the entire family history, and that was through those letters and those journals, and just I'm so grateful that we were able to have that and learn from those things. Like we made a ministry message a week ago,
A while ago.
Yeah,
sometime,
whenever it was.
and it came from that book, and it was a really cool thing to be able to read that and then learn from it.
Thank you. Actually, you know, my sisters and my family, they had written some things, and so there were things that they left. And so I would say, Connor, when you die, what will you leave behind? What you have written. So, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
All right. Wonderful.
You guys are great. This is amazing. We love it.
All right.
keep it
Well,
up.
thank you. We're glad you could be a part of it. Thank you for being willing to be here.
Honored to be invited.
Wonderful. Well, we'll talk to you and see you soon.
Okay. All right. You guys are amazing.
Bye.
Bye.